Oh. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Peter Rodenberg, the Assistant Director in the International Office at Kutztown University. And we've got a special little thing here for you. A KU alum, Nirajan, is here to talk to you about his life, his journey to KU and beyond, right? Not just your time here, but this is really exciting for me as well. I love hearing from our students, especially when they've gone on, because university is not the end of the road, right? There's all the other stuff. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nirjan to hear his story. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Peter. I can 100% agree. The life and beyond, I think the university is just the beginning of the journey that you kind of embark in as an international student. All right, everyone in the audience, my name is Nirajan. I was basically born and raised in the part of Nepal, as you can see from my last name. I joined Kutztown University in 2009. I graduated in 2013 from Kutztown University, but I think this talk is more about me as an international student and how it saved my life going forward. So to all the international students, I think most of them in the audience today are being part of an international student. They value that journey. But that doesn't limit yourself to just being that for first 4 years or 5 years in college. That kind of goes along throughout your life experiences. And I think I'm going to just talk about my journey. I'm happy to take any questions afterward, and we'll go from there. Um, so I came, as I said, I came to the United States in 2009. This is my picture. This is our KU mascot, KU Bears. This is picture me with my buddies from college in early 2009, for my first couple of days when I was in KU. The guy in the black, you can see, he went back in India. He's in Kolkata right now. He's one of the renowned CPA over there. The other guy in the blue, in the middle, you can see he ended up getting a job in Goldman Sachs in New York. Later on, he ended up finding. Right now, he's in the UK, doing still connected with Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest financial firms. And here I am, still hustling at the bottom of the picture. So, um, um, I think if I think back in my Kutztown days, one of the biggest thing, if I can remember, is the first few semesters were hard. I'm not gonna lie, those were the times where I was exposed to a lot of different situations. I had to speak a different language. I was exposed to a different culture, different food, different group of people. But there's only part of me that realized this was going to be one of the biggest advantages I had in life. Um, so being international student, you do not come here just for a degree. There's a different environment that you'll be exposed to, which you'll eventually I think it will shape you not just as a scholar, but also as in your personality, and that will be your success story down the road. And this is true. When I came here to Kutztown, I ended up. I thought it's I'm going to get a degree, I'm going to get a good job, and all those things. But I was not. I think Kutztown did a really good job of um, able to explore myself. And I'll talk a little bit in details, how that happened, what other things I did. Um, so my college were 4 years. I started in 2009 August, ended up graduating um, by the end of 2013. Um, My first goal when I came to Kutztown was I wanted to be focused in academics. But the other part of it was also adapting to the life, um, which I was basically in this back in 2009. I was the first, I was the one of the Nepalese I was the only Nepalese in Kutztown University. But that didn't limit it myself. Like, I have friends from different culture, different countries. So I was also adapting to the lifestyle of it. Either playing different sport, playing baseball, playing American football. So all these things, like, I think it was just a part of like, me was exploring a little bit more during those time. Um, the community is what you are exposed to and what you're willing to share. I met different group of people. Either those are through classes, those are through some sports activity, those are through international groups. There are a lot of professors I was exposed to. Um, when I initially came to Kutztown University, there were a lot of um, thing that I was unsure about. And I think what early on, especially the international student group of people, what they did a good job to me was they were able to kind of put me at ease to any problems that I had. Like I could text them, I could email them, and they'll respond to me. Either it was finding a small job in the college or like, either exposing to a different organizations. So they kind of guided me to get into the like different parts of the university resources, like, whether it's a health resources or it's a wanted to connect to a different people that I could find a job. So I think there are like a lot of aspect and avenue that I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more robust than 16 years down the road.
Mhm.
But um, um, definitely, like, those are the thing I was able to reach out through the international office. And obviously, along all these my experiences, I was able to find people outside my academic group. Like, I was able to my advisor obviously was from um, the microbiology department, but my mentor was a sociologist, actually. He was a professor I worked under for almost 2 years. I was able to help him out to grade a couple of people, the papers, like, help him out to, like, with lecture content. So part of me, like, was able to go beyond just the regular community that I was exposed to. And that only happened through the international office. Um, The other big part of me I learned in Kutztown was the value of independence. I was just a regular teenager when I was in Nepal, um, but coming as an international student, you have this responsibility of trying to prove your worth, and it's a perfect opportunity. Um, I had to manage my own time. I had to manage my small amount of money that I had in my pocket. I had to balance the um, things that I wanted to do outside of my classwork. You also have to balance your college work, my part-time work that I was doing in the Kutztown University. So these all kind of part of me realized that this was preparing me for a better future for me. Yeah, it was hard. As I said before, like, the growth begins where your comfort ends. And I was uncomfortable in some way. Um, I was having a good stress, but I didn't realize at that point of time um, that it was leading to me for a better future. Um, and the bigger part of it was changing me. Even to this day, when I look back, the uncertainty that I came in with, the different, um, the culture, the different people, as I said, like, different situation I was exposed to, it saved me how I reacted in those situations, how I communicated with people, how I was able to set goals and I was still able to attain. Um, so I think the nutshell, what I'm trying to, like, say in this college years, or there's more than just the academic aspect of it. And there's resources that you can navigate. I mean, initially through international office, but eventually, like, you'll find a route through your own connection, own experience, and own group of people, and it'll just kind of shape you. Um, so this is a bunch of group of people. This is, I think, most of the people, pretty much all the people here are an international student. The two guys in the front are the Nepalese, guys. Obviously, me over here. There's a couple, a guy from Serbia, a couple of people from India, Brazil. So I think it was a good group of. I mean, this is just a piece of, like, of an international student. We're able to explore a little bit more down the road. There were a lot of people I met from a lot of different background, and the more I get to know them, I start feeling I'm not alone. Like, there are more people out there. And these all people are, to my knowledge, they're pretty successful now. They enjoy their life. And if I think back, and when I talk to them, the Kutztown was definitely one of the best decisions they took in their life. Um, so yeah. So I think also part of me wanted to bring it, like, what is life after college? Because we also live in this uncertainty. Yeah, which obviously I didn't think much, like, especially during those times, like, I'm gonna get a college, but I had no clear understanding what is ahead of me. So for a year, I spent as a research assistant. I work in Marshall University, which was a university in West Virginia. Um, this was my team. Again, pretty diverse group of people from different background. There were people from India, like, and there's people from Ethiopia. There were a lot of people from South America, obviously, like, a couple of people from different parts of America. And I had a great time. Like, I was exposed to, like, different animal models, pretty cool research, pretty cutting edge technology. Um, and these are all pretty much, like, most of the majority of them are a PhD students. They were postgraduates, and I was just helping them out with their research. I was having some financial stability. I was making some money. Um, and for me, the safer option at that point of time was to just enroll in a postgraduate program in the university. But I think I started thinking about my life in a more bigger picture at that time. Um, I wanted to explore a little bit more. And that's where, like, I joined the army, which is pretty unconventional route, like, if you think about it. Um, Part of me was like, just go to the post grad. Hey, like, this is, like, the conventional route. But the reason I chose to be in the army, if I think back, and I hope I'm right on this, but is because I was comfortable being in an uncomfortable situation. And that could only happen because of the first 4 year of my life in the United States, because I was exposed to a different culture, a different environment, and part of me enjoyed it. Part of me enjoyed being in a different settings where I was not used to. And obviously, you can imagine it's a different life. In the army, there's a different lifestyle of things, a different mentality, um, very go-getter on the initial days of my training. Um, So yeah, and I was able to explore that. Again, it didn't begin um, with the comfort. It started with a lot of discomfort. It's a different routine, different group of people, different mentality, different food even. Same boring food every day, but and eventually I started having fun. Again, it's same logic, like, it's same concept as being an international student. I had those days of struggle. I overcame that, and I was able to do things that I could never imagine a few years ahead of me, or like a few years before me. This was me. This is air assault. If you're not familiar with it, this is one of the hardest school they call it in the Army. Um, Again, hard initial couple of days, but down the road you get to jump out of the plane and jump out of the helicopters, right? It's pretty cool. Um, so I don't regret it. I had like a lot of time, a good time in those schools. This is me. This is another training that I went to the Army. Same concept. Started as a pretty hard days, lost a couple of pounds, a lot of running, a lot of training, but the end was beautiful. This is the small piece of medal that I earned during this training, which is called an expert field medical badge. And you can say from the name, it's a pretty big thing on your shoulder to have in the medical community in the Army. And this definitely led me open to much more doors. These uncomfortable times, this tough situation, was kind of prepare me again for like in a better future in the Army. Um, and life doesn't end just being in your professional setting. Life does happen to you as well. Like there's a lot of beautiful aspect of life. Um, in 2016, I was able to meet my wife. We met in Pittsburgh. Um, I was working in Maryland. My wife, she was a master's student in Pittsburgh. So she is also Nepalese, but she was having her postgraduate study over there. We're able to meet, and we're able to get married in 2018. We went back home. We're both our parents were still back in Nepal. We got married over there. Um, and during those time, this is my picture in White House. We call it the West Wing, which is basically a place where the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States get their medical care. And that was a pretty rewarding time for me. I had this huge moment of reflection where I came from and where I was at that point of time. So it's a pretty cool moment for me. So just wanted to share with you guys. Um, Again, Army was great. I could definitely build my career just being in the medical command in the Army. I was having a good time. But a part of me, again, like, wanted myself to test myself within the inside of the medical community in the Army. And that's where I made a decision that I wanted to join a medical school. And this was never part of the plan. I never thought that if you asked the 19-year-old who came to the Kutztown initially, um, that would you have ever joined the medical school? My answer would have been no, like hell no. Like, that was never ever imagined down the road. But the way the approach, I think I was able to get into the medical community in medicine in the Army was not just because of the talent and the perseverance, it's because of the group of people. And my, um, I think that my foundation was already built as an international student. That is more to me, and that will only be I'll be able to bring it out because of the people that I will be around with. And sooner or later, I went to Uniformed Service University of Health Science, which is basically academy, but it's a university for for the military community who are in uniforms, where Army, Navy, Air Force all goes into have this military-based medical training. So I was able to graduate my doctorate in medicine from there. Um, um, yeah, and this is me at my graduation in Washington, D.C., which is in 2022. Um, yeah, and I think again, I'm kind of like summarizing here, but the 4 years in medical school was again like that was hard. But I think I could see that pattern in life in me initially, like joining those 4 years in college, and then a couple of years in the army, for like being in the medical school, um, in this medical community, having a different language. I think the bottom line is the same. You have to like have sense of humility where you come from, and sense of service that I'm able to do more. I'm able to share more. I'm able to like give up more for my people around me. I think if the language of healing, the language of servitude to the group of people around you will take you a long way. Um, and I think, to be honest, this all started on the first 4 year of me being in the Kutztown University. I didn't have that point of reflection at that time, obviously, but those were the foundation block that were shaping me for these futures. Um, Meanwhile, again, like I'm kind of going in this two parallel universe of like me explaining about being in um, college and all these things. In 2020, I had Reba. She's 4 year old now. Going to be 5 year old soon. She she was born. She completely transformed my life as father as well. Um, Neil, he was born in 2020, 22. Um, and so these Reba was born in the east part of the United States, which is close to Washington, D.C. Neil was born in completely west side. He was born near Seattle here in the Madigan Army Medical Center, where currently I'm working. Um, so even these kids, they are having a wide experience of their life. Um, and this is us like in the last summer in our backyard doing some firework, and having a good time. Um, and I think again, like I think I'm kind of beating the dead horse here, but I think the concept is the same. Even to this day, I think whenever we explore different cities, different like in a part of the country, we there is a sense of discomfort to begin with, but the bottom line is the same. We ended up enjoying more, able to like bring more of ourselves, bring able to like give it more to each other, and just it makes everything beautiful. So now um, I'm here. I don't know. You can see the pointer or not. I'm in the right bottom picture. We're just having a bike to work day. This is a bunch of group of people that I'm working with. I'm an emergency medicine trained. People call us like trauma doc. Um, or rapid responder, and however you ranger medic or whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is like I'm again having a good time. The only difference in since 2022 to 2025, what I'm having is I'm now very comfortable being uncomfortable. Um, I'm comfortable getting exposed to a different group of people. I'm comfortable um, learning about different people, different group of people, exposed to different environment, and able to put myself out there. And the foundation, I think, that began in those early 2009 to 2013 years in Kutztown University. This is another picture of me um, before the shift. Um, yeah, great group of people. In this group of people, there are a lot of American heroes. Like there are a lot of people who has a Purple Heart, which basically means they were wounded warriors, wounded soldiers. Even they were able to navigate their life to become a physician down the road. So This is not just a picture of me with a coworker. There are a lot of people. Even to this day, when I go to the work, I'm humbled by their stories, and their experiences. Um, so it's just beautiful to me. So the person who's I'm right here, the person on the right side. I just want to share his story. Multiple deployment, Iraq, Afghanistan, work as a lot of commanding position. He was shot in his hip by a sniper. Was in ICU for months. Got up, changed his life course, went to medical school, and still serving the medical community. He could have easily retired after there, after multiple hip replacement and all. And this is just one person here. There's like half of these people in this picture are American heroes, and they're serving a different way they can. Either, and this is the more you dive into this community, I know this could be very uncomfortable to begin with, but you're going to meet all these awesome group of people that will just keep making your life more humble, um, and expand to a different potential. Um, so I think the biggest reflection, there are a couple of things I was thinking last couple of days. What are the biggest thing I could reflect is embrace the cultural change. This is part of our life. Either you don't have to be an international student, even being in the United States, moving from cities, going from a small community, even within a community, you could have a different culture over there. Is your willingness to adapt to a different culture. And I think being an international student will set you up for success because that's the time where you like your ties are like basically cut off. Like you'll be away from your family, you're away from your home, you're away from a lot of things that you're used to with it for your early first couple of decades of your life. And that's where you're gonna take off. Like you're gonna find your way, find your perspective with things. And so this is pretty wide these days. We live in a pretty diverse global community. So this doesn't apply just to you as an international student. Obviously, we're talking more of like an international student journey, but this going to keep happening through your life. Whether you um, either you're in an academic environment or not, or work environment, you just need a better ways to adapt to this. And there's no better way than being as an international student, and at least to my biased understanding. Um, Obviously, you got to respect where you are. That's a big part of this, but also have a sense of service. Like when you come to the community, you can bring more to the table than you can think. Um, you will have your unique path, um, but being able to adapt, have some sort of respect to the culture, the geography, and the place you're in. It will take you a long way. Um, Um, yeah, I cannot talk about this more. I always tell before I start in the department, we give in a little bit of report, take a patient sign outs. I tell about being nervousness is good. If you're nervous, that's okay. But being fearful of taking something that is uncomfortable to you, probably is not okay. And it's okay to be nervous and uncomfortable. And that's the whole bottom line of this story. I want to tell you, this is, I've taken a lot of uncomfortable routes in life. Either it was coming as a only Nepalese international student at the time in the beginning, um, coming as in going to the army, exposing myself to the medical military community. So all these in conventional route, and if I look back, I absolutely loved it. And I'm pretty sure 10 years down the road, when I look back, I will be proud of me to taking those routes. Um, the path that you'll not, the destination you'll basically not go into is the path you do not take, right? So definitely there should be a nervousness, but there is also resources. Like, I'm pretty sure people like Peter will be a great reach out for you guys, because they do not just care about you being in the university. And that's where we're doing this. That's the whole bottom line of this is they care about more you as in person. When he found out about me, he was able to share this story to the people that they can see 10 years, 15 years down ahead of me. And I'm just a number. There are multiple people, as I said, the people I've been in touch with, has done great in their life, great in their career, great in their family life, and just great as a person. So there's a lot more examples out there. I'm just one of the many numbers. And the biggest, one of the other things that I wanted to highlight is the Kutztown University. I think the fundamental goal was I want to get a degree, right? Obviously, that's given to you. But I think it gave me a little bit more to me. Either it's through my personality, through able to explore myself, able to embrace to the different culture. So to any job, right? There's a given role. You get a job, even if you work in a McDonald's, there was a standard of procedure. This is how you should operate. So that's how I see as a degree. That's just a small part of me. But the bigger part of it is how you're able to explore those. There's a lot of avenues. I'm pretty sure I am kind of outdated now. Peter have both better understanding, how KU operates at the moment, how the international, and I'm pretty sure it's more robust than last 15 years ago. There are probably more resources. There's more opportunity for scholarships. There's probably more people you can reach out to as a mentorship. I'm pretty sure, there's advisors. They're more robust. They can cater to your needs as an international student. So I think the degree will be given to you. I'm pretty sure, you'll work hard and you'll get through there. But there's more you can explore, and I'm happy to give you that direction if needed. You're not alone. There are many of us out there. Obviously, I will give you my contact information at the end of this, but most important part of it is there are a lot more people. I was exposed to this science, all more of a biology background, but there are people in computer science, people on finance that I know, we're doing great. A different part of the world. Some are in Europe, the people I know in South America, people are in Africa, people in Asia. So there are many people out there. Your background, you might not realize, you might struggle, getting adapted in the initial few years as an international student, or initial few months, I should say, as an international student. But those will come back to your strength down the road. Um, there's a lot of uncertainty as an international student when you come in. I was nervous. Maybe I was even fearful in the beginning days that it's what I'm signing myself into. Those are pretty valid questions. But trust me, there's a lot more value to this. And I think the bottom line of this presentation is not to show you what life looks like ahead of you, but there's also the value in the journey that you're gonna take as an international student. And even to this day, all the military training, all the different experiences I had over the past 15, 16 years in different part of the United States, different countries, different training. I still, my fundamentals is still back to the Kutztown University. I still think it is like, how would I think if I was in the first 1 year or first 6 months in Kutztown University? And that's how I frame myself. I put my boots in the ground. I was um, I was humble. Um, I was willing to work hard. I was willing to meet different group of people. And I think when I think back and I reflect on those days, I'm able to bring that energy to myself. So till day I cling on to the small little I knew um, to shape myself to get in the framework to embrace the uncertainty of life. Um, Yeah. And to any of the people, you might feel a little bit like, odd in a different situation, but that's normal. Um, there are many international students in many universities, um, but your willingness is the path you're going to take, right? Like, your um, resources, like, your international community that you're going to explore. Um, you're able to find a different group of people, and sooner or later you realize, like, it's beautiful, and you're going to belong to Kutztown University, and you're going to explore forward from there to your jobs or whatever life um, opportunity you're going to take forward. I want to say a moment as a thank you to all the people who are listening and all the people who are going to listen in future. Thank you to listening to my story.